I'm Olivia, 28, and I've been married to Tyler, 30, for 5 years. Our story began in college when we were paired up for a group project in our economics class. I was immediately drawn to his easy smile and quick wit. Late nights in the library working on our project turned into deep conversations, and by the time we turned in our final presentation, I was head over heels. Our relationship faced challenges, especially during senior year with the stress of job hunting and graduation. Yet, we always managed to navigate through those rough patches, emerging stronger. After graduation, we both landed jobs in the same city, which felt like destiny. We moved in together, and 2 years later, Tyler proposed during a weekend trip to the beach, the same place where we had our first vacation together. I remember that moment so vividly, the waves gently crashing, the sun dipping below the horizon, and Tyler on one knee asking me to spend the rest of my life with him. It was everything I had ever dreamed of. The first few years of marriage were wonderful. We traveled, set up our home, and even adopted a dog together. Every day felt like a new adventure, and Tyler and I felt inseparable. He was not just my husband, he was my best friend, my partner in every sense. We had plans, big plans for our future. Starting a family, buying a house, all of it felt so close, so real. I believed I had built something solid, something no one could tear apart. Then, my sister came into the picture. She had always been close to me, closer than anyone, really. Growing up, we were inseparable. When she started struggling after a bad breakup and some financial issues, I couldn't just stand by and watch. I invited her to stay with us, thinking that having her around would be good for her, and for us as a family. It felt right. I wanted to help her get back on her feet. For the first few weeks, things were fine. Sure, it was an adjustment having another person in the house, but Tyler and I were solid, and I was happy to be there for my sister. I never saw it coming, what happened next. It started small. Little things that I brushed off. A glance here, an awkward pause there. I figured it was just the tension of having someone new in our home, a temporary bump in the road. But as the weeks went on, I noticed Tyler and my sister spending more and more time together. At first, I didn't think anything of it, they both enjoyed similar shows, they liked cooking together. I even felt grateful that Tyler was being so supportive of her. Then came the late nights. Nights where I'd come home from work to find them together, laughing, sharing a bottle of wine, while I had stayed late at the office. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself it was just my imagination running wild. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. The night I found out is burned into my memory. I walked into our bedroom, expecting to find Tyler. Instead, I found him with her. My sister. In my bed. The shock paralyzed me, the betrayal so deep I couldn't even scream. All I could do was stand there, watching my world collapse around me as they fumbled for excuses. Tyler's face went pale, and my sister, she looked like she was about to cry. "It's not what it looks like," Tyler had said, his voice desperate, but it was too late. I knew. I knew everything in that moment. My sister tried to speak, but her words meant nothing to me. I couldn't process the betrayal, the deep, gut-wrenching betrayal from the two people I loved and trusted most in the world. In a single moment, everything I thought I knew about loyalty, about family, about love, it all crumbled. After that, I kicked my sister out of the house and demanded that Tyler leave, too. I couldn't bear to see either of them. I felt numb, hollow. How could they do this to me? How could my sister, my own flesh and blood, betray me like this? And Tyler, the man who had sworn to love me for better or worse, how could he? I felt like I had lost everything. 2 years passed. 2 long years of silence. They stayed together, as if the betrayal didn't destroy me. I tried to move on, to heal, but the weight of what they did was always there. It haunted me in quiet moments. The memory of their betrayal would surface like an unwanted ghost, reminding me of the life I once had, the life they took from me. Now, out of nowhere, they want to make amends. They want to talk. They say they're sorry. They want forgiveness. But how do you forgive something like that? How do you look at your sister, the person who shared your childhood, your memories, and not feel the deep scar she left on your heart? How do you forgive the man who promised to love you forever, only to throw that promise away? They say they want to explain, but what's left to explain? What more can they possibly say that could undo the damage? I don't know if I'm ready to hear them, but part of me knows that maybe, just maybe, I need to. Not for them, but for me. To let go of the anger that's been eating away at me for so long. 2 days later, I agreed to meet them. A part of me hated that I was even giving them the time of day, but another part of me, maybe the part that still craved closure, needed to hear what they had to say. We sat in a quiet cafe, away from the public eye. Tyler looked older, more worn down than I remembered. My sister seemed nervous, her hands trembling as she fidgeted with her coffee cup. Neither of them spoke at first, and the silence felt suffocating. Finally, Tyler broke the ice. "Olivia, I know there's nothing I can say that will ever make this right. What we did, it was unforgivable." I remained silent, waiting. My heart pounded in my chest as I braced myself for whatever excuse he was going to throw at me. "We didn't plan for this to happen," my sister said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I never meant to hurt you. I was in such a bad place, and Tyler, he was there for me in ways I couldn't explain. It was wrong, but it just happened." I clenched my fists under the table, trying to hold back the wave of anger that was threatening to spill over. "You didn't mean to hurt me?" I spat. "You slept with my husband, and you're telling me it just happened? How does that even begin to justify what you did?" My sister's eyes welled up with tears, but I felt no sympathy for her. Tyler shifted uncomfortably. "Olivia, I spent 2 years regretting that night. I've tried to move forward, but the guilt, it's consumed me. I hate myself for what I did. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. But I just wanted you to know that I am truly, deeply sorry." I stared at them both, the weight of their words pressing down on me. But as they spoke, something inside me shifted. The anger that had consumed me for 2 years, the pain that had festered and grown, suddenly, it didn't feel as heavy anymore. Yes, they had betrayed me in the worst possible way. But holding on to that anger, letting it control me, it wasn't doing me any good. It was time to let go. "I don't know if I can ever forgive you," I said finally, my voice steady. "But I'm done letting this define me. I'm done being angry. I don't want to carry this weight anymore." They both looked at me, surprised. "I'm not ready to forgive," I continued, "but I'm ready to move on. For me. Not for you. I don't need your explanations, and I don't need your apologies. I just need to live my life without this hanging over my head." I stood up, leaving them both at the table, and walked out of the cafe. For the first time in 2 years, I felt free.